What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about something called my double-edged sword. It's kind of an interesting thing, but it's something I struggle with, but it's also something I excel very well with, hence the name double-edged sword. The topic itself is actually how to keep moving forward when you're feeling pretty negative. So the double-edged sword for me is whenever something bad happens, like whether I lose a deal or, maybe a client decides to quote unquote go in a different direction, or whatever, maybe I put an offer with a buyer and my buyer's offer didn't get accepted, and I missed out on another deal, or whatever it is, or there could be a million different things. Whenever something bad happens, I'm almost unfazed. Kind of like a bouncy ball. Like you drop it, bounces right back up. Like that's exactly how my behavior is towards negative things like that. Like it just boom, bounce right back up. Now, the double-edged sword on this part, now that's a great quality to have. That's awesome. The problem is what else comes with that, I guess, quality or trait, is when I win, when I close an $860,000 deal, or when I double end a $400,000 deal, or, when I, get asked to serve a certain position in my office, or whatever it is. It's like I hit the ceiling and bounce right back down, and I'm just going right here. I'm just like bang, boom, and right back. And it's like I don't celebrate the wins. I don't dwell on the negative. I don't dwell on the losses, and I don't celebrate the wins. Now, one of the things for me is I got to learn how I have to learn how to celebrate more the wins. And it's this kind of the reason I'm talking about a little bit about myself here is because I want you guys to understand I'm sure there are other people out there that don't celebrate enough. And that's one of the reasons I'm having this episode today, is because I want you guys to be able to kind of join me in this mission here where, let's keep the negative thing where we just bounce off the floor and come right back up. Let's keep doing that part. But the part where we bounce right off the ceiling, like maybe let's hang out up there a little bit longer. Like I said, I want to get some people to join me in this mission where, let's celebrate something. So like what I've committed to do, at least for my business, is every time I close a deal, I'm going to set aside a celebration budget. So like for me, I have a client appreciation budget too. So for every deal I close, so let's just keep the number simple here. If it's a $10,000 commission, I'll get a split. Say it's like 70%. If we haven't capped out yet, then I'll keep 7,000. Okay, so of that 7,000, let's 5% of that. I don't know math well enough to do this, so I have to pull out my calculator. 5% times 7,000. So that means I have a $350 budget to treat clients with. That as a thank you for that client. Now, I don't ever spend that kind of money on a client because I never really need to show appreciation and thanks, but that is the budget. Like I can give that budget to people. Now, also when that commission closes, I'm going to also dedicate 5% to myself. That's going to be the celebration budget. So just because I need to treat myself and I need to celebrate a win more often. So maybe it might be lunch, depending if it's a smaller commission. If it's a bigger deal, like a $10,000 commission that gets split, and then I have a $350 budget, like maybe I'll go buy something cool, like a new suit or something like that, or whatever else. Definitely a 3-piece suit though, because gotta have the vest. But like, it's a way for me to celebrate and kind of like hang up there on that high a little bit longer, because I don't want to have to bounce back. And for anybody else who's struggling with this, you understand what I'm talking about. So like I said, let's join a mission here to have a celebration budget. It doesn't have to be 5% of all your commissions, but maybe you can do 2 or 3%, whatever. But spend a little bit on yourself, and I think rewarding yourself can actually be kind of cool. And when you actually go to shop, or whatever it is you spend the money on, you can actually say, yeah, I deserve this, and not feel guilty about it. So it's a cool way to do that. That's pretty much what I was going to pretty much talk about today. As far as the negativity, for those out there who do struggle, who, kind of take the hacky sack approach where you hit the floor and you kind of stay there. Let's do this. I want you people to learn how to kind of take a cornerback memory. Like, okay, so in football, not the quarterback, not the guy who throws the ball, the cornerback, the guy who closes, who's supposed to cover the wide receiver and make sure that the wide receiver doesn't catch the ball. So, and you're supposed to intercept passes. Let's say, so let's put it this way. In football, the wide receiver has the advantage because he knows the route he's running. The quarterback knows the route he's running, and the ball is being thrown to him so that, he obviously has an advantage over the cornerback. And when a corner, it's good. Let's put it this way. It's going to be more frequent that the wide receiver beats the cornerback because of all those things. They know they know the route. They're on the same page with the quarterback who's throwing the ball. So the cornerback is at a significant disadvantage. So when he does get an interception, it's a big deal because he's at the disadvantage. But here's the cool thing about cornerbacks is they do have a short-term memory. They get burned way more than a lot of other players on the field. And a good cornerback has a short-term memory. And it's like, maybe you just got burned on that last play, but maybe you're going to intercept it on this next play. And that kind of memory is the memory you need to have. Like, you got to have that cornerback memory. If you're one of those people who, like I said, take the hacky sack approach, you hit the floor and you just kind of stay there and you don't bounce back up very easily. I would tell you to adopt the cornerback mentality where you just take that short-term memory and just be like, oh yeah, like we gotta turn you into a bouncy ball and just get you to come right back up. But here's the cool thing is this is probably the best thing actually for you. If that seems to be something you struggle with is adopting that mentality, then here's the other thing I would say is take on the long-term, short-term memory, but then take on the long-term aspect of gratitude. If you can make gratitude last long-term and then, short-term memory for the mistakes and long-term memory for the concept of gratitude, that will make you feel a lot better. So here's why I say that, because I think every mentor I've ever had, every book I've read from anyone who is remotely successful has always said gratitude is like the best virtue in the world. And it definitely is. There's no question about it. My own personal experience can verify that. But and you'll say sometimes, I've heard a million times, is gratitude can't exist in the mind simultaneously with cynicism or simultaneously with, something negative. Now, it's not just cynicism or criticism. Actually, whenever you feel gratitude or whenever you take stock and just be like, look, I feel grateful that I even have this. It's not just cynicism or criticism you're getting rid of. It's all negativity goes away when that happens. And just all negativity in general goes away. So when I have a client who just keeps calling me and harassing me to no end, and I'm frustrated and annoyed, and it's like, I just take stock on it and be like, you know what? As annoying as this is, and as mutilating and as awful as this is, I'm just going to be, you know what? I'm thankful that I even have a buyer in the first place or a seller in the first place. Because there's a lot of real estate agents out there who may not have this. They may not have this problem. They may be struggling to even put food on the table because they don't have enough leads or enough deals going on or whatever the situation is. And when I put that thought into my mind, it actually almost makes me appreciate the annoying client that's bothering me from the first place. And you then take on a totally different approach to the conversation with that client, because when you pick up the phone ready to rip their head off, it's because you're pissed off at them. That's one approach. Or you can be grateful, you know what? Thank God I have this client. Let me just go out there and be the best I can. And then you have a totally different mentality when you pick that phone back up. And that client will get a better version of you because of that. And that really helps a lot. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got today. So, if you guys want to hear some more stuff like this, or if you have any specific topics that you'd like me to talk about, feel free to let me know. Just send me an email at Steve at thenextlevelacademy.com. And I'd be happy to, put something together for you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.